Many, many years ago, oral history tells the tale of the origins of a magnificent medieval kingdom in Africa. That kingdom was none other than Great Benin, and its rise to prominence began with the legacy of Oba Ewuare the Great. While there were 11 kings before Oba Ewuare, it was Ewuare who elevated Great Benin to the powerful kingdom it became. Oba Ewuare's many legendary deeds are well recorded, but his journey to Obaship began with a horrific tragic event that took place in the royal palace in Ubinu, which was then the capital of Great Benin. At that time, the Uzama Chieftains were the Kingmakers, and they alone had the power to raise and destroy the Oba of the Kingdom of Great Benin. Over the years, they grew more powerful and became extremely cruel and ruthless, misusing their power in wicked ways. Even the Oba had no choice but to submit to their will. The Uzama Chiefs imposed outrageous taxes which the people could not resist because it was done in the name of their Oba. They incited unnecessary conflicts with the neighboring villages, using the Oba's authority as a guise for their aggression. These wars, fueled by greed, spread devastation far and wide. In their ruthless quest for ultimate power, the Uzama nobles cunningly manipulated the Oba. They sowed seeds of deception, whispering lies and spreading malicious rumors that fueled the Oba's fear. The Oba grew so paranoid and afraid for his life that he decided to confine himself within the palace walls and away from his sons. The then Oba of Benin Kingdom, Oba Ohen, became paralyzed. This disgusted the Uzama chiefs that they decided to depose him. But who to pass on the crown to weighed heavily on their minds. The Oba had 3 handsome sons. The first, Prince Irughe, was a kind and peaceful young prince who loved to farm. He was engaged to be married to the beautiful Princess Elohor. Prince Ogun was the second son. He was brave and popular amongst the people and the gods. But the Uzama nobles did not like him because he loved to play wicked pranks on them and was extremely rude. He was also the most skilled hunter in all the kingdom. He knew the terrain very well. He also took great delight in hunting and fighting wars for his father. Then there was the third son, Prince Uwaifiokun. He was the most handsome in all the kingdom, but a devious young man with a sweet mouth. Though he too was a skilled hunter, but he was not as good as his brother Prince Ogun. Neither was he loved by the people, and that made him very jealous of his brother. As a young boy, Oba Ohen fell fatally ill and only recovered after bouts of treatments. And eventually, as he aged, this terrible disease left him paralyzed from the waist down. His paralysis quickly disgusted and angered the Uzama chieftains because they now saw their Oba as a mere mortal and no longer divine, and so they plotted to eliminate him. One night, they rallied the royal soldiers and had Oba Ohen imprisoned. The next day, the Oba was dragged to the market square, and in front of the public, he was brutally stoned to death. It was an evil public execution, and his 3 sons watched bravely with tears in their eyes as their father gave up his last breath. Angered by such cruelty, Prince Ogun, the bravest and most daring of all 3 princes, vowed to avenge his father's death. As is the customs of Benin Kingdom, when Prince Irughe was crowned, his title and name was changed to Oba Egbeka. He also got married to his beautiful bride, Oloi Elohor, who was already pregnant with a baby boy. The day arrived for Prince Ogun to avenge his father's death. He approached Oba Egbeka and advised him to invite the Uzama chieftains on a hunt in the rainforest. His plan was to use their absence as an opportunity to strike them where it would hurt the most. He knew the Oba was of a gentle nature and that he would never approve of his plans, so he approached his younger brother, Prince Uwaifiokun, who was just as hot-blooded as he was. While they were gone on their hunts, the two princes rushed back to the palace grounds and slaughtered all the first and last sons of the Uzama Chiefs. It was a devastating day. By the time the unsuspecting Uzama Chiefs arrived back from the hunt, they saw that the whole palace was in mourning and that their first and last-born sons had all been killed by the avenging princes. When Oba Egbeka realized the horror his brothers had inflicted, he decided to shield his brothers from the wrath of the Uzama Chiefs. He hid the princes all night deep in the caves of the palace, and at the first sound of the cock's crow, he sent Edo, a loyal palace slave boy, to give them food and bade them farewell, with a warning to run and never return to the palace. Unfortunately for Oba Egbeka, a palace maiden stood watching from behind an old Iroko tree as the Oba helped his brothers escape, and so she went and informed the Uzama nobles. The Oba's acts enraged the Uzama chieftains so much that they decided that the Oba must die as well. But his killing had to be done in secrecy because they knew the people would revolt if their new Oba was killed so soon after the first, and so they decided his death would come later. Months later, his new bride gave birth to a son, and they named him Erowa. But unfortunately for Erowa, he would never know his father because soon after, Oba Egbeka mysteriously died while eating his supper. Edo, the palace slave boy, harbored a deep loyalty to the royal family. His keen eyes and sharp instincts made him suspect foul play in the mysterious death of Oba Egbeka. So he took it upon himself to help the Oloi and her innocent son escape the evil Uzama chiefs. Under the cover of the night, he bundled food and safety materials for them, then sent them on their way to the people of Urobo, where they were to live in secret and away from the eyes and ears of their enemies. Meanwhile, Prince Ogun and Prince Uwaifiokun had escaped to the forest, hiding away from the wrath of the evil Uzama chiefs. But in the capital, the Uzama chiefs held a meeting where they decided to appoint Prince Uwaifiokun as the next Oba. But the only way that could happen was if Prince Ogun was no more alive. And so, two assassins were sent into the forest. One was sent to give a message to Prince Uwaifiokun, asking him to return to Great Benin and secure the Oba's throne. And another was sent to end the life of Prince Ogun.